Hey guys, welcome to the Cyan Orange review. In this occasion, we're going to talk about the new tablet monitor from Huion, the Kamvas GT 191. We're going to do the unboxing, we're going to talk about the advantages, disadvantages this tablet has. We're going to draw a little bit to test it, and finally some recommendations for those interested in buying it. Today, we had the opportunity to take a closer look inside the Kamvas GT 191. We bought it directly from the factory instead of the actual store in Colombia over the huge difference in terms of price. Even from China, the shipping price wasn't a big deal, and even paying taxes, the difference was quite reasonable. During the unboxing, we noticed it was well packed, completely protected from a long trip to Colombia. On the outside, it was covered by a hard surface material, while on the inside, there was this soft foam that guaranteed complete protection from any damage. The tablet comes with a screwdriver that for people like us that don't really have one around, it's great. A charging cable for the drawing pen, a couple of screws to assemble the monitor to its base, a pen holder, an USB cable to plug your tablet to your computer, and a charging cable. The big surprise when we opened it is that we found a small but generous gift, an extra pen, that clearly it was well received. The Huion comes with an Hdmi cable, although the tablet is also equipped with DBID and BGA ports just in case someone might require them. We really doubt someone will really use the BGA port, but well, there it is. The Hdmi cable is in a standard 1.5 meters that is approximately 5 feet long, and in our case it was too short for the setup of my computer, so we had to buy a longer one. Now talking about design, the screen has a very alluring black presentation. The level of colors of the screen are very vivid and clear. We compare the LG 4K monitor with the screen of our Huion, and we noticed the colors on the screen were slightly desaturated, as if the brightness and the contrast were not well set up. It is not an unpleasant color setup, and both monitors have different technologies, but it is important to keep this in mind. A problem for us was the location of the ports on the back of the monitor. They are located on the inferior portion of the tablet, making it awkward to lower the angle of the monitor if the cables you have connected, like in our case, are too thick. The tablet starts to float out of balance if the cables start to get in the way, so ultimately you are restricted of the angle you can choose. It's not a big deal unless you want to draw on a complete horizontal surface. When we started drawing at the beginning, we felt this very awkward sensation, as if we were scratching the screen. It felt like we were damaging somehow a brand new monitor over the friction created by the tip of the pen. The last thing you want with your brand new tablet is to somehow damage it with its own pen. But fortunately, this sensation went away with a bit of use. After a couple of days working with our Huion in Photoshop, we also noticed a bit of lag inserting commands. Pressing Alt too much, for instance, or trying to select multiple things with the magic wand became a bit hard and frustrating. This tablet is selling a new technology of 8,000 levels of pressure that we noticed right away. So in order to get a line going, you need considerable pressure to eventually see the line drawn. In my case, I'm a light hand drawer, which means I don't use too much force or pressure when I'm drawing. So for me 8000 was too much. But don't need to worry, the driver of the tablet allows you to adjust the sensitivity of the pressure levels, and I eventually came up with a sensitivity good enough for my drawing preferences. Huion has a Huion 202 version 2, which is the previous model of our Kamvas GT 191, and the upgrades are quite notable, especially on the pen. 1. The design of the pen improved, longer, elegant and lighter than the previous one. Number 2. The pen stand is now heavier. Made with better materials than the previous one, it can properly sustain the pen now. Thanks to the addition of a hole, you can now properly insert the pen to leave it rested in this position. Or you have the option to set it horizontal, thanks to these two depths. The tablet comes with a CD containing the software, but we don't recommend using it. Instead, go directly to Huion.com and download the last version of the driver. The last driver up to date has a couple of problems, especially with my 4K monitor. When we try using it different displays, having both screen independent, our Huion setup that can only reach 1080p of resolution was actually running in a 4K res. That means that the location of the pen's tip and the cursor in the screen didn't match at all, even though we had calibrated the screen as instructed. The two ways we found to fix this issue was to set my 4K monitor to 1080p, or have the display set to mirror mode. But all of these issues can be fixed, hopefully, with an update of the current driver. Issues with the driver has happened before, and Huion has responded in a very satisfying manner, fixing them to have the tablet work perfectly. So in conclusion, we believe the Kamvas GT 191 is a very good monitor drawing tablet, especially for the price. Our suggestion is to wait a little bit before buying it so the driver issues we mentioned can be fixed. But all in all, it's a very good drawing companion. Huion is definitely on the right path to become one of the best brands in the market of drawing tablets, and ultimately put an end to the monopoly of this industry.
Tomorrow's mine. You awoke me out of